Hey guys, Suraj here from the Middle Class Breaker. In today's video, I am gonna speak about an app that I developed completely from scratch and which is also production ready and it is also put up in the Google Play stores, and I did it completely with vibe coding. So without much further ado, let's get into the video. So folks, before we enter into this particular video, if you're someone new to my channel and if you are watching my content for the first time, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button. I made an app which is called Camel Cruze. The name of the app and what the app does has actually no relationship, and I'm actually a person who don't really worry about names because I feel branding has to be the next thing. The first thing is how the user feels about the app. Now this app is a weather app, but not like any other weather app. I designed this app specifically for someone who's a bike rider or a motorcyclist or somebody who's traveling. Now the question comes here, there are so many other weather apps. Why did you happen to develop a weather app? Yes, there are many weather apps. There are actually good weather apps which is from Apple. Google has its own weather app which is integrated into Maps as well. Microsoft has its own weather app. But then when you try downloading it on phone and when you want a little bit even more in-depth knowledge or in-depth data, there's always ads, right? A lot of weather apps that you try downloading on your phone, either you have to subscribe to it or there are just too many bloatware ads. Now that is something that I really wanted to remove it. Number second, the user data was always taken by the app, and that is something that I always wanted to restrict. The app that I've designed, all the user data, their privacy remains in their mobile. Whatever data is being collected, it's stored in their mobile. It never comes down to my database at all. And number three, there are actually no signups. You download it and you just open the app. Instantly you get to know the weathers. All you have to do is just allow permissions to the location. And the most important thing is I wanted something like a right score as well. Maybe if you check the weather today, right now at this point of time, it will let you know if it's actually good for you to take your bike out or for you to travel. So there's a score that I've created based on the percentage. If it's like raining and if it's the wind's speed is way too much, then it falls under 40%. If the weather is good and if there is no harm, let's say it's going to rain but it's not going to rain heavily, you can still go ahead and ride. It's going to give you a score about 70 to 75%, and if there's no rain, there's not excessive heat also, then it's going to give you a 90%. Plus it also allows you to check the road condition. It also allows you to check the humidity, temperature, like any other weather app, guys. I don't want to brag about the weather app. This is not a brand endorsement or a promotional video. This is about how I made the app and how you guys can also make something like mine. Now this is how I started off with the app. Now coming back, the name Camel Cruze has no connection with the weather app, but this is all I wanted to do because I wanted to be a little different. Like I said, no signups, no user data getting stored into my database, nothing as such. Now the question is, how did I come up with this app? Because I am from a technical background. I did do my sound engineering, and then of course in between I went non-technical, did my journalism, mass communication, and then I ended up doing MCA again. But I ended up taking I ended up taking machine learning and artificial intelligence, which had no connection to Android development. I didn't really learn Java too much, so I had no idea about it. Very simple. I started taking courses, I think in about March 2025, I started learning from Coursera, Code Academy. I did a lot of YouTube hunting. Guys, I'm telling you, if you want to really learn something, YouTube is the place, free of cost. You just need to figure out who's the right content creator to help you out. That is something that's going to take a lot of time, but otherwise stick with Code Academy. That's another great place for you to learn something. Now I'm not sponsoring anybody, nobody's sponsoring me to tell this. I'm just trying and helping you guys out. There could also be a plethora of other courses that you could take it up and learn, whatever works for you. This is how I started up because I had no idea about what's Google Android development. I've not even seen it in my life before. I had no idea about what Cursor was. I did use IDEs for my machine learning and other things. I did know basics of Python and how it works, but not really have done hard coding like intense, like 1,000 lines, 2,000 lines and all. I've never done. I think the maximum line of code that I put in was like maybe 60 to 100. That's all. Maybe for some it's way too less, but that's all I did. Now, me doing an app which is production ready, which is also been launched onto Google Play Store, is like a dream come true, because if not for vibe coding, I don't think it's possible for a person like me to do it. Because imagine I'm like a single person trying and doing everything. If it was just 3 years back, I would have needed a team who can do the UI, who can do the UX, who can then take care of the database and stuff like that. Now I used a couple of tools and I want to put them on list, and then I will explain you how I shifted from one tool to another. The first very tool that I used was Android Studio, which is by Google again, free of cost. If you are developing Android apps, you need to have this in order to emulate and check if the app is actually working or not. The next IDE, the next, which is the IDE, which is also the first IDE that I used, was Cursor, because Cursor was the only thing that was allowing you to do wipe coding as good as it was. I did try Replit. The trial version though not really worked out for me. I also tried Google Firebase, because back then anti-gravity was not there, rather Firebase Studio was there. It didn't work out for me. So Cursor was something that really helped me out. Cursor till date is also very good, but I have other options. Please hold on to that and wait and watch till the very end. So that was the first IDE that I used. I used Cursor and Android development, but the only problem for me was Cursor was paid. It was not free. Now, paid $20 for something that I know if it's gonna work out or what is like a big question mark, right? Because it's about 2,000 rupees that I'm burning just like that. But again, keeping in mind that I'm not hiring a Android development person, I'm not hiring a Kotlin, programmer, which would easily cost me about 25, 30, 40,000 plus. I'm just saving 2,000, which is absolutely fine. But my goal was to try and keep the outflow of money as less as possible. I developed it for almost 2 to 3 months. I would not lie, I did spend a good amount of money for 2 to 3 months. But the only problem was when initial stages of vibe coding, it was more of troubleshooting than just sitting and giving prompt and the app working. Or it was not like that. Today it's changed. When I started around September, early September, October, and all, no, you prompt something, whatever you wanted is never going to come. So you will just keep troubleshooting. So the only way that somebody could have done an app back in the days was to have a lot of patience, number one. Number two, you should be really good at prompt engineering. I really thank myself for getting enrolled in MCA, specifically in AI and ML, because my specialization was more towards prompt engineering. And I also happened to take up Google Prompt Engineering Certificate, which was in Coursera. Great course, go ahead and check that out. After doing that, my prompt engineering basics was very strong, at least the fundamentals was very strong. I understood what is multi-model prompting and all of those things, so which made my life a little easy to communicate with Cursor, because Cursor is an IDE, but you start communicating in English, but not in like a normal English. You don't tell, hi bro, how are you? It doesn't work like that. You need to give it a context. You need to make Cursor understand why you're telling certain things. So that's where prompt engineering comes into the place. Now I prompt something, and whatever I wanted never used to come on the screen. So I used to struggle. And yeah, Cursor also had this cool feature called restore checkpoint. So basically, let's say I gave in a prompt, something happened, I didn't really like it, I can go back to whatever prompt I gave, I can restore a checkpoint. So whatever was there before the prompt will come back. So that way I could retrieve whatever was there before the prompt went live. This is how it went. And I think around October or November, I made something which was like a lame weather app. It's not great UI, lot of bugs in the UX as well. Too many people around me were saying it's not really going to work out, there's too much of bugs. But apparently I at least put in the API of the weather things, and a lot of those things happened well. At least that went really well. But it's only after a while I launched it, and I never really bothered about it, because my thing was to launch an app. That was like my dream, because one man sitting and doing it in a small place in Vidyananyapura, which is again in Bangalore, India, is not a small thing, right? So I wanted to launch an app which went on Google Play Store. I was very happy. And when I started, no, I still remember even Anthropic did not have Sonnet 4.6 or Opus 4.6. I think it was in Sonnet 4.5, which didn't really have the agentic stuff. So you prompt, it'll take some time. And Gemini was there. Gemini 3 Pro was there. I think even ChatGPT 4.2 was there. Codex was not there though. Absolutely bad these were. The Geminis were very bad. The ChatGPT was okay. Claude was the best even then. Even today, it's like a spoiler. Claude is the best. If you're trying to do wipe coding, please spend on the Claude API through console or through the Claude Pro subscription. You will not regret it. The other are good. I use them to do PRD documents and other things, but not really great for coding. It's always Anthropic, for me at least. Now there could be a lot many people who can debate on this, but for me that's what works. Then once I released, that's when I started listening about this agents, Opus 4.6 and everything, and I wanted to give it a try again. So then I didn't want to use Cursor again because it was expensive, and my MCA happened to finish this year, so I still had access to student. I went on to GitHub and I applied for student developer pack, and once you apply for students development pack, you get a GitHub Copilot pro subscription worth $4 for every month, which you can integrate it into your IDE. And I used to use VS Code back in the days as well. So I downloaded the extension GitHub Copilot and I choose Claude, and Opus 4.6 was there. I had no clue what it was capable of, and trust me, one prompt I gave which went massively well. Just one prompt, because back in the days what used to happen is I used to give a prompt, it'll ask me for another question, I used to give it another prompt, something else used to turn out, or it'll just be like error. Even on the chat ID, if no errors are there, when I build it and when I run it on the Android Studio, a lot of errors used to come up. Just figuring out the error and correcting them itself will take 5 days, 6 days for me. But once the Opus 4.6 had come, that those errors had gone. And I forgot to tell you another thing. In between, I also used anti-gravity, which I used Gemini Pro itself. Again, didn't work out for me, to be honest. Anti-gravity is again another version of VS Code, to be true. If you actually think about it, both looks pretty much similar. I think they did partner up with Microsoft to do that. I'm not really sure, but it pretty much looks the same. But the benefit is anti-gravity also has anthropic models, which is free for a certain time, but after that it just shuts off itself. It says the usage limit has been exceeded. So I wanted to use the VS Code, which I had the GitHub Copilot, like I was saying, $4 was there. I started doing it, guys, and then the sub agents and the agents just took over. I give one prompt, what I wanted was appearing on the screen, and this is when I felt I should probably release another version of the weather app. So I'll try putting in the old and the new version of the weather apps on how it was before Opus 4.6 versus how it was after Opus 4.6, and I'm like mind blown. You will not believe me, in just 30 days I've built two apps. One is related to HR, one is related to scholarships, where I'm trying and figuring out how students can get idea of all the scholarships that's available in the country. One is another HR app. I don't want to talk about it much because I'm planning to do multiple videos on this. And the other one is I'm trying to build an intelligent land rate analyzer, which the production is already ready. I'm trying to make it a little bit more better in terms of UX. I'm trying to build the authentication and database for it. Probably another 15 days that will also go live. Everything done with just Anthropic 4.6. Like I said, it's the best time for any entrepreneur to do what they want. This is the best time. So if you're somebody who watched these videos and who has I'm sure all of you have a lot of questions. I'm also sure that I've not put it out in a very well-mannered way, because see, I'm not an extreme tech person to give it out in the way like how other tech content creators make. I'm more of like a business person who did do a technical course just for understanding how technology works, and I'm trying to build something from the scratch. So I'm sure I've missed out a couple of informations here and there. In case you want more information, please go and put it down in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, because I'm going to talk more about Claude, Anthropic, OpenAI, and my perspective is going to be from a normal layman's perspective. It's not going to be really from a technical guy. And I will also tell you how I came up with the photos, how did I use Google AI Studios to come up with the Google screenshots and everything in the upcoming videos. So it's going to be all the way from starting an app, vibe coding it, and then building the app bundle, and then how do you upload it on Google Search Console. Everything is going to come up in series. I just wanted to start off this series with how I came up with the app and what are the tools I used. I may have missed a couple of tools. Please go ahead and ask that in the comment section, and please do subscribe. I will meet you in another video.